Hey everybody, Rhadamant here. Thanks for tuning in to the second episode of Stellaris Wendigos, which streamed live on Twitch. If you'd like to catch a live stream of this, just go to Rhadamant.com to join Discord. Discord's going to allow you to know when I stream this midweek. Alright, let's get started. Oh, here's a Tundra world. It's a very small Tundra world, but a Tundra world nonetheless that we could colonize. Oh, so we just, this holy, Zanami Holy Sovereignty just spent time to discover who we are. And as a result, they are undoubtedly going to kick this researcher out, like, immediately. So I honestly probably can't even escape the solar system before they boot me. Which is fine. I'm gonna try. Because currently my policy with neighbors is to close my borders. And generally speaking, if I close my borders to them, they'll close their borders to me. They reciprocate like that. But what I can do is I can get Kandara here and block them from going west. Now, it's also very possible that there's a Western Empire here that I have not yet discovered, and all I'm doing is putting myself between two potential nations that will war with me. But, like, that's what we're about, yo. So I'm totally going to do that. Also, Shashamar, you need a name, don't you? You need a name. Your name is going to be Evil Onion. Nice. Yep. They just kicked my my scientist. They gave him the old boot. That's okay. I totally expected it. One thing I'm going to do is go to them, and I'm going to... Oh, hi. Dub, you are now architecturally interested as a governor. I am going to harm my relations with my envoy with them, so that I can declare them my rivals. Declaring them my rival will give me an extra half influence per month, which I can use to annex new territory and stuff like that. You can declare up to 3 rivals, unless you're like a militarist, then I think you can declare some more, or maybe that game mechanics is different, but I believe by default you can declare up to 3 rivals. And you should definitely declare rivals, like, as soon as you're able, because it can give you the influence bump to expand faster than your neighbors. Wow. Are you... Wow. Oh, they have the Tomb World start. Okay. I get what's going on. So I was a little confused. What's going on here is there's a special type of event where you find a chain of Tomb Worlds that have suffered from a nuclear apocalypse, and that's why there's so many damn planets here. It's because it's the Tomb World quest here. So you have 3 Tomb Worlds, 2 Tomb Worlds, 1 Tomb World. Yeah, the whole galaxy is full of, like, little mysteries for you to uncover that are kind of procedurally randomized. You know, and that's pretty cool to take advantage. What are my policies? Sure. So let's go over policies. My diplomatic stance is isolationist, which sending envoys will cost influence. So what's going to be important for me is as soon as I can pull my envoy back from harming relation with this guy, I will unassign my envoy because of my isolationist policy. And then war philosophy is unrestricted. Orbital bombardment indiscriminate, so I can bomb worlds. Native interference is unrestricted. Native enlightenment is prohibited because I'm a xenophobe. Resettlement is allowed. Land appropriation is allowed. First contact protocol is aggressive. Open border status is closed. Economic policy is militarized economy. Trade policy is consumer benefits to offset the militarized economy. Robotic workers are currently allowed, although I don't know what I'm going to do about that long term. And then perjury, slavery, and pop controls are allowed. One thing I should do is my Wendigo species here, I can set their rights. So I can change their living standards. Right now, they live in a stratified economy, which makes my specialists more powerful and my workers less powerful in terms of like political influence and that kind of thing. But eventually, I would like to... Yeah, stratified economy is fine. So my slaves here live under slavery. They have basic subsistence instead of even like decent conditions or anything like that. So they cost even less consumer goods to support. Basically, I'm underfeeding them. You can, or not. It's not food literally, but they're only getting the bare minimum. They're not allowed to colonize other planets at all. But they don't have population controls, so they can breed, and that's fine. I'm using them as slaves, and I'm allowing them to breed. I should have migration controls, but I don't really care about that so much. And then the type of slavery. So there's multiple types of slavery. There's chattel slavery, treating them, like indentured workers. There's domestic servitude, which means that they're going to do, they can be employed to increase amenities and things like that. Right now I have them as being sort of like working in the fields and mines. There's battle thralls, which has them do more damage. There's indentured servitude, which is, that they can be employed as even specialists, but they retain more political power than other slaves. And then there's livestock, straight livestock. So livestock pups, cannot be employed to produce resources. You just literally eat them. So what can end up happening is I can invade other planets and enslave them as livestock. We're Wendigos. So like that's kind of what we're going to do. We're going to either enslave them if we think they're like worthy of something, or just literally eat their faces. And here's another shuck on. Seriously, shuck on. We just discovered some late medieval age suckers who we might end up eating. All right, so here's a bit of a naval battle.
Study has been completed.
And research. So we just got coal guns with engineered joint. The next thing I want to work towards is maybe geothermal fracking for more minerals. No, I'm going to do nanomechanics for more research. And let me double check. Nope, I don't have any better scientists. Okay. Or is that that's true? What is this? An industry? This is materials? No, I don't have any better scientists. All right, so here's a little battle. So speaking of ship-to-ship battles, so these sort of ship-to-ship battles, they sort of fight on their own. The only sort of things I can tell the ship to do, my fleet to do rather, is to retreat. Which, when you hit retreat, you can still suffer losses. I don't plan on retreating, definitely not in this battle, but they're just duking it out. And in the damage output down here, you could see what is going on. So my kinetics are not hitting as reliably as their small red lasers, but my kinetics are doing a lot more damage than their small lasers. Each ship has blue. I know it's a really, really small icon here, but blue is the shields. So right now, this ship, for instance, has 29 shields, 100 armor, and 300 hit points. And the way the weapons are designed, and I'll go into ship design in a little bit, different weapons do different damages to shield, armor, hit points, etc. And it's sort of like the old like pre-Civil War, everybody line up and shoot each other tactic. That's very much how you do ship-to-ship battle. So like this ship right now, this Dennis class corvette, it is damaged, and you'll probably see it start to back up from the battle to try to stay alive. But there is no guarantee that your damaged ships will survive. They might blow up. So I'm prepared to replace these ships if they do. As you can see, this corvette here is done. It just blew up. Let's replace it. So, speaking of ship design, let me go into the ship designer right now. So we have the Dennis class corvettes. So my Dennis class corvettes have 3 mass drivers. On the front section of the ship, you have a choice between missile boat, interceptor, picket ship. Picket ship shoots down missiles. A missile boat will fire missiles, and an interceptor is just kind of well-rounded. And right now I'm an interceptor. We haven't really decided what kind of weapon types I'm going to pursue. I'll have you vote on that in just a second after I explain this. So of the parts here, you have the weapons up top, you have your shields and armor down here. So right now, these ships that I rolled out with have more shields than they have armor. As you can see here, coil guns do added shield damage, lasers do added armor damage. So because I have well-shielded ships, these terrorist fleets don't do great damage against me because their ships are all lasers, and my ships have a lot of shields, so their lasers are having a hard time cutting through my shields, which gives me a rocks, paper, scissors advantage in this fight, which is pretty cool. Back to the ship designer. Over here, you have, this is a special component. All of the components that you add into your ship cost something. So right now, to make this ship, it's 100 alloy, and the upkeep is 0.9 energy and 0.21 alloy per month. And if I added this reactor booster, it increases the cost by 5 alloy. I don't really need more power, so I'm not going to bother adding it. Up here you have your reactors, then you have your hyperdrives, that is how fast you can hop from system to system. Then you have your thrusters, which is how fast you move around once you're in the system, and it also affects your evasion. You've got your radar systems, which allows you to detect ships further out, more hops away from where you are, and also allows you to target better. And then you have your combat computers, which adds a bonus, but I don't have any combat computers right now, so there is no bonus. And that's sort of ship design. And you can design your ships however you want. As far as weapons go, and let me get a poll out for this. So there's energy weapons. They are better against armor, worse against shields. Then there's kinetics, which is better against shields, worse against armor. Then there's missiles, which is sort of, missiles can be strong against both, but they can be shot down from point defense. And then there are hangars, which are like little fighters that get replenished at the end of the battle. So it's like having a little bit of, those are I would say the 4 main. Hangars isn't really like a weapon type per se, but like if you wanted me to go carriers for hangars, I would do it. So yeah, you could vote on what type of missiles I'm going to focus on. I'll leave that up for a little bit, unless it looks like a runaway poll. So normally speaking, I don't really care. I don't want to influence your voting. I'm going to let you vote however you want. At the end of the year, all necrophytes on Wendigo Prime will be converted into Wendigos. This ceremony takes place every 10 years on each Wendigo planet with a chamber of elevation. So at the end of this year, we are going to have 3 more Wendigos introduced on Wendigo Prime. So another thing that I could do is, depending on how you vote, I can actually mix it. So like I'll have primarily the number 1 winner and then secondarily the number 2. So like right now, if the poll ended, I would have like a focus on kinetics with some fighters, with a little bit of a focus of fighters. I think hangars alone doesn't really work, but I'd make it work if you wanted to see that. So at the end of this fight, I have lost 1 ship, right? We watched 1 ship blow up. So right here, there's a little button called Reinforced Fleet, which will just automatically replace that ship. So what it's doing is it's queuing up a ship at full cost. I have to pay it full cost. But at full cost, it will queue up a ship at my closest shipyard, and it will automatically reinforce my fleet without me having to do anything, which is very, very cool. Right now, right now what I'm doing is, I just noticed, let me explain. I just noticed that Tundra, I have enough influence to annex Tundra here. What I'm missing is alloys. So I am going to buy some alloys off of the open market. This open market allows you to exchange resources at a fee, a pretty steep fee, but I still use it a lot. So at Tundra, I'm going to start annexing it. And then at Zothmech, or whatever this is called, what I want to do is to send one of my scientists to survey it because it was a contested world and I still might be able to annex it. So, Savior, get out there. As far as the like the best weapons, there is no best weapon. It's like rocks, paper, scissors. It's like it would be like saying in a game of rocks, paper, scissors, shoot, what's the best to throw? And it's like, well, you know, it really depends on your enemies. So yes, I would say shields are probably a little bit more common than armor, but there are big, dangerous enemies that will be very strong against one type, very weak against another. So, for instance, there are sort of like end-game crises that can happen, and depending on the way you've built your ships, it could be dramatically weak against the types.
A study has been completed.
Dutch Exile, thanks for the follow. And Ragpa. Alright, we just got a new research, so let me analyze what we have next. So if I close the weapon poll here, it's clear that kinetics and hangers are my focus. Got it. So that means that blue lasers, probably I don't need blue lasers. What I will do instead is quantum theory. So we'll get more physics research from researchers. Alright, my construction ships. So this construction ship down here at Kandara is going to annex Kandara and sort of box these guys in. At Darep.
Unusual phenomenon has cropped up.
Oh, there we go. We got it. Crimson Rust, thanks for all the gifted out subs. And to some people that were talking too. That's awesome. So Kandara just finished, and I'm going to annex it. I just did. Actually, it's going to need a name, isn't it? So let's get it a name. Colin 33. Boy, do I ever feel like I answer a lot of your comments on YouTube. Not a complaint. It's a compliment. I thank you for it. Alright, so you are now a solar system. You know what's funny, Trunk Slam, about that is a lot of my YouTube comments, because JDV2 is one of the starting characters of Frost and Fire. I've had several people message me, whatever happened to JDV1? I'm like, there was never a JDV1 as far as I know. Alright, so the population just necrophaged. So 3 of the humans on Wendigo Prime just ascended to become necrophages, which happens every 10 years. So if I take a look at my species list, it used to be 1815 or 1812 or whatever, I don't know, 1816, I guess, because it grew or whatever. Now it's 21. So we increased our population, and this is from this Chamber of Elevation, which, honestly, the way I picture this is sort of like Goa'uld ceremony implanting Goa'uld symbiotes into new people. Into humans or whatever. That's probably how I think of it. Or like vampires, instead of killing their chattel, converting their chattel. That's sort of the celebration there. That's how to think about it. A Stargate reference? Yeah, definitely a Stargate reference. Yeah, the Goa'uld reference makes a lot of sense because we're a necrophage. You know, if you... It depends on the sort of, like, mythos of, like, werewolves or vampires or whatever you want to get. Where, like, how do they convert? Like, is vampirism a disease like it is in Skyrim? Or something? But... yeah, the Goa'ulds were just very, very cool. That was...
system survey has concluded.
I really liked the way they were designed. So we just discovered... A hostile... What are these? These guys are a mining fleet. So we can't go there because they'll blow up my science ship. Science ships don't have weapons. Science ships here... let me show you a science ship. Science ships here, all they are like little surveyors. So they're non-combat, and you should not get into combat with them unless you want them to blow up and die. They do have a high chance to disengage, but that doesn't necessarily work all the time when they get fought. Yeah, the whole theory behind the necrophages is the way that Stellaris at least makes it seem is it's very Gua'uld-like more than anything else, but we could still roleplay it as Wendigo, because who knows how the Wendigos ascend. I never really went into that lore. So, I'm going to pause a second. We just got a choke point of an alien menace up here, which is not going to let us through, and there's no point in going around, so I'm going to start going up this choke point here and surveying that way to the Forbidden Nebula. What gateway did I find? Oh, Eye of Hawking. Oh, yes, yes. So I'm not going to spoil it for anyone that doesn't know, but we have an L gate in our territory. That is awesome. That is awesome. That's very, very good. You want one of these in your territory, trust me. Yeah, L-Gate Pog. Anyone that knows Stellaris, having an L-Gate in your territory is just like, well, I guess I'm getting nanites. And like a ton of colonizable machine worlds.
Construction venture completed.
Okay, colon is done there.
A system survey has concluded.
Who surveyed concluded? Oh, Eye of Hawking, yeah, because it's just an L-Gate. Of course it is. Alright, new tradition. So, my new tradition, I'm going to leave to you guys. I'm going to have you all vote. So, we have got expansion, which helps you expand. We've got domination, which helps you control vassals, I guess is the kind of easiest way to think about it. Prosperity, which is for economy. Harmony, which is sort of spiritualistic-ish. Supremacy, which is war. Adaptability, which I don't even know what it is for. I spelled that wrong too. I don't even know what it is for Necrotroph. It is... Oh, this is like federations. This is like alliances and crap. Yep, we'll put that up. So, which new tradition? So, one thing to note is because I am a fanatic, xenophobe, authoritarian, they are going to want certain traditions pushed more than others. Like supremacy would be probably a preferable one, but it's still up to you. It's still up to you whatever you want. Expansion works too if we're going to annex a lot of territory. So if you take a look, you can always take a look into the benefits. So if I adopt expansion, it allows me to develop colonies 25% faster. And then adopting all of expansion will allow my planets to have one extra additional district, which makes them larger. And then individually, starbase costs are reduced. New colonies start with extra pop. Growth is a little bit increased. Starbase upkeep is reduced. Empire sprawl is reduced. In supremacy, it allows me to have more starbases, and my army does more damage. If I finish it off, it allows me to unlock the war doctrine policies. You know, ship build cost and ship build speed goes up. Ship upkeep gets reduced. Naval capacity goes up so I can have more ships. My ships fire faster and blow up planets faster. My star bases are stronger. My fleets can be larger. My admirals can be better. And each of these trees, you can take the moment to read through them, but they'll have their own unique benefits depending on the route you take. So you all say, not all, but you say expansion. What I'm going to do is have a runoff between expansion and supremacy, removing all the other options here. And I'll leave it untapped for now, just so that we can have that runoff. So if you have any specific questions, just like tag me, just do an @Rhadamant so that I can definitely see it. So our Destitute Armada has been, the extra ship has been added to it. The problem is the last of this terrorist fleet is big. It's bigger than my current armada. So what I'm going to need to do is add corvettes. I'm going to need to bulk up a bit. You know, like Rick and Morty, or Rick and Summer rather, when they're beating up the devil. X gonna give it to you. So let's go do that. Let's get some additional corvettes and make sure that we can actually take on that terrorist fleet. Okay, so you're pushing supremacy, but it's close enough that I'm going to leave it open for a bit longer. So their fleet power is 327. My current fleet power is 203, so I'm definitely going to need to be a little bit stronger before heading in there. My societal research is completed, and I would say the next important societal research here would be pop growth speed, because of how slow my Wendigos repopulate. And what scientist was that? Latin Deer, you are being fired and replaced by Latin Deer. As I told you, if you don't die, you age out, you won't get eliminated. Boop. So I switched him out I switched out Latin Deer, the specialist, for Latin Deer, the generalist. So Maniacal just gives you a blanket 5% speed, whereas this guy is specialist. It's 15% speed, but only in his specialization. It's 0% bonus for the other types of science. So right now, this field manipulation scientist is doing computing research for no benefit. So it's pretty important to have those generalists when you can. Okay, supremacy, I'll call it for you. We will adopt. So adopting that gives me, right off the bat, it gives me additional starbase capacity. So right now I can have up to 6 starbases instead of 4. This is going to let me do something like this, if I had the alloys. Setting up a starbase on the border between me and my neighbor, who I'm not so neighborly with. But I'm going to go ahead and sell a ton of my resources to be able to build a starbase, and I shouldn't have done that, but whatever. MCM Mick McCarrot? Is that your name? Mick McCarrot, thanks for the follow. I wanted, given that I'm playing a space game, my brain was like, MCRN Carrot, but I was like, no, that's not right. God, am I ready for more expanse. So here is the start of my factions. My first faction was just founded. This is, the leader of this faction is Holy Dire, and it's the Wendigo Purity Party. It's exactly what you want to, it's exactly how it sounds. This is the Wendigo Xenophobes. I'll just call them what they are. So this faction is going to be satisfied as long as I promote xenophobia. So if you mouse over what it's trying to have you do, they want a ruler to be of their own species. If there is one of their own species, they're happy. If not, they're unhappy. Keeping them. So what is the purpose of this happiness? That would be the better question. So keeping them happy, right now their approval rate is 79%, gives me influence, which allows me to annex new territories or claim territories from enemies, or do a bunch of, it's this political influence up here, and it's really important to have a lot of that. You can have a maximum of 1,000 of it, and it will allow you to like pass edicts and laws and all sorts of stuff like that. And it's a resource that you're definitely going to want a lot of. So making sure that I keep my xenophobes happy is going to be really, really paramount to being successful. So one thing that my xenophobes would be happy, and these little green dots here mean they're satisfied. So like, for instance, I don't allow immigration from any other species but my own, so they're going to be happy. One thing that they would like me to do is they would like me to kill a Leviathan, which I can't right now. I mean, forget it. They're so much stronger than I am, that's ridiculous. And assert dominance. So what they want me to do is they want me to declare war against someone and assert dominance against them, and that would make them happier. Kalos Volga and MySteel, thanks for the resub and sub. You guys are awesome. And MySteel is even gifting out a sub. So congrats, F5R. Or whatever, however I botched your name. I'm being a new sub. So again, let me double check. What is this? What did I just find? That was really weird. Hold on, what was this? Sorry, I'm confused as to what just happened. I discovered a new species up here. So these guys up here are going to kick me out of their territory. It's going to be really, really, really important for me to get up to Hupth as fast as I can. Like, as right now. I need to do it right now. Because this is an encroaching neighbor here. So I'm going to stop Sky Collective from surveying up that way and start going a different way. Because there's no point in going this way. I already see that this territory is well established. You're a long-time YouTube binge watcher? Well, welcome. 12-hour shifts. What do you do for work? I think a lot of people are binge watchers. The amount of content I make makes me very binge watchable. All right, at my home world, I do have an empty building slot. But I don't have any minerals to build anything. I'm probably going to make a alloy foundry because I want more alloys. I think that's probably the most important thing for me to do right now. Ah, security guard. One of my best friends was a security guard for many years.
An unusual phenomenon has cropped up.
And yes, I know exactly what you go through. I heard it for years from him of unbelievable boredom with abrupt chaos thrown in the mix. Does that sum it up nicely, or am I wrong? Because that's basically how he would state it.
Construction bench complete.
Perfectly. Yeah. Actually, my half-brother was a security guard too, and he quit when someone on the property died. Like, gunfire died. And he was like, alright, I'm not getting shot. I'm out. Yeah. He was a security guard, like, in Vegas. Like, off-strip Vegas. And he was like, nope. Don't want to die, so goodbye. Oh, you're jonesing for some more Frost of Fire content? Yeah, that, I'm glad people like the mod. It took a lot of work. I'd be very sad if it didn't go anywhere. I'm glad you have no guns in Denmark so that you can't get shot at. I don't usually get into gun control debates or anything like that. Oh, we have another system to delegate. So let me go do that. In fact, we have two. So let me tab properly. What am I doing? The giveaways, yes. I swear this is not the first time I'm streamed. Vana Soul, you're going to be renamed for this deer outpost. Oh, this one. And then re-rolling Dutch Exile. Oh,
A system survey has concluded.
So Dutch Exile, where do you live now? If it's not Netherlands. And Mike P. the Savage, thanks for continuing a gift you got from Leth. Vanasol dropping a bunch of gifts out. Well, thanks, Vanas. Yeah, whoa, indeed, man. Whoa, indeed. Strange happenings are afoot. Okay, I'm just ignoring every single... ooh, that's too bad. That world is kind of nice. I'm basically ignoring every single everything that... these anomalies that I'm getting. I'm not even sure I'm going to annex Zathmak here, because there's only a little bit of energy credits, and it's kind of not worth it. I'd rather push Hoof, or whatever this place is called, I don't know. Because that's going to be more important. But, oh, there's some more neighbors at Arrakis. Arrakis has a space station, I think, so it's really important for me to get Hothram too. So I need to push this area critically and immediately. Which again means keeping my my envoy. Where is my envoy? You unassign, because I'm spending influence to have him assigned, which is dumb. I should not do that, and I'm sure he was unassignable for like ever. This is the best community. I agree, but I'm obviously biased. But I mean, what other community has this little guy, right? What other community has this little guy? There's only one Empire God Yoda. And he's no longer Stinky Yoda either. Daddy gave you a bath, didn't he? Yes, he did. Bias doesn't mean wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're a huge fan of how tight the community is? We're tight because, you know, y'all are awesome. I didn't do that. I didn't make you awesome. You made you awesome. I wanted alloys here? Is that still true? I want research. I take it back. Alright, Ajax. What's like Ajax's weird cousin? I always found it weird that in the Iliad there was two Ajaxes. Like, come on, Homer. I mean, I guess it was kind of historical, so maybe there was two Ajaxes. But wouldn't one just go by Telamonian or something? I don't know. I don't need to get into Greek myth / history. I digress. Forget I even mentioned anything. I have a little bone to pick with Homer though. They did. Oh, get out of here! They're already trying to annex Hothram here. I just saw it. They did my favorite character in the Iliad dirty, very very dirty. There was basically two Ajaxes. And there was Telamonian Ajax, or Ajax the Great, or Telamon Ajax, or whatever you want to call him. And the dude in the Iliad was a beast. He was just like a giant monster. He was basically like a minotaur that wasn't a minotaur. And long story short, he was sort of tricked into suicide. And yeah, I just not a fan of that sub story. Because he was probably the best warrior in the entire war. Like, that wasn't like blessed by some god, right? Like Achilles was. And yeah, he was pushed to suicide. Because, you know, whatever. Okay, I digress. let's talk about the game. Yep. So if you have any questions, oh yeah. So basically, what it was when Achilles died, there was an argument about who would sort of inherit his stuff. And there was Telamonian Ajax was a massive dude. Like, basically think like Andre the Giant, right? Like, he was just straight up Andre. No one could fight him because he was so massive. He would like swing his arms and everyone would die, but he was not a good talker. So, oh, sorry, what is happening? Communications with two people. Okay, so I just met Tavis here, and I was right. I did speculate that there was an empire back here, and there is. And I met them too. So who are they? They are Democratic Crusaders. Yeah, we're gonna have some issues. we're gonna have some issues. And then there's the Federation builders, I'm going to have some issues with them too. And basically, what was it? Agamemnon and Telamoni and Ajax basically argued about who would like inherit Achilles' stuff, which would be a high honor. And Agamemnon was like a brilliant tactician and a really good orator, and he basically won Achilles' stuff while also embarrassing Telamoni and Ajax and causing him to commit suicide. Okay, yeah, these guys are obviously closing their borders to me. Who do you want me to rival for? I guess I'm rivaling both, so let me just rival both of them. Everybody's my enemy. So I'm going to have to remember this time, the moment my envoy, which will be 8/27/22/13, the moment my envoy can be reassigned, I should reassign him. Did I learn in post-secondary? No, I actually read the Iliad in like high school, I think. It was one of these situations where like the teacher assigned it, and because it's such a dense book and hard to read, I don't think anyone in my class, minus like a few brainiacs, read it, but I was like, hey, it's the origin story for all like war novels. I'm gonna read this thing. And it was worth it. Because it is sort of, I mean, there's a lot of it that like is long-winded and crazy. Like, especially when it was the, there's a section in it, which is like the call to arms or whatever. And it was pretty, it's like, it just names the houses that like showed up to war and just went on forever and ever. It was like entire chapters of like, like these guys show up with 1 boat and these guys show up with 3 boats and these guys show up with 2 boats. It's like, oh my God, I just don't want to read this anymore. Just like, please just show me a graph of like who showed up and why the hell I should care. All right, but oh, Hoof just got annexed, I guess. Well, we're gonna have to take that from them. And yep, there they are, the honor-bound warriors. So these guys took Hoof or whatever. I did stop them from coming into this section though, so that's good. There was some annexation that went well. And they closed their borders to me. No surprise there at all. So I am like a space snake. I'm this teal. Well, here, let me show you in the unions mode or whatever. I'm the green snake here with a lot of enemies around me. I'm going to have to pick my battles carefully. In fact, what I'm going to really need to do is bolster up my navy, my armada or whatever you want to call it, because everyone around me wants to kill me, and I ain't that strong yet. Alright, so 3 more. How is my relative power? So these guys are overwhelming to me because I haven't been focusing on my navy. These guys are superior, superior, and superior. So the overwhelming ones I really have to worry about because they're significantly stronger. Now, because I'm very snaky, yep, that's the proper term I'm going to use. Because I'm very snaky, that does mean that I have some pretty good choke points. So if I created a Bastion station at Vana Sol, they would not be able to get past it very, very easily. The same could be said for Fangface. So these two are very good, or even Dutch Exile. Actually, Dutch Exile might even be a better Bastion. So these are good Bastion setups, and that's probably what I'm going to do to invest in that territory soon, after I get a bit better armada, a bigger armada. Because if I take Dutch Exile as a Bastion, anyone that wants to come in from the northwest has to go through a Bastion, and then same with Fangface down here. But Ermandian here would be a really good next annexation, because it has a lot of resources. A lot of resources. So what I want to do is these guys are already no longer, or already not overwhelmingly stronger than I am because of the resources I've been pouring in. Wait. Oh, because this is double hop. Ah, all right. Let's go back to Zathmak. I can't get Ijax because it's a double hop. Well, I can, but I'd have to wait. I'm surprised I only have one faction so far. I don't even have my authoritarian faction. Quantum Theory just finished up. Next up, we should get maybe basic combat rolls. I'm going to be in combat really, really soon, so I ought to get better combat ships, because my combat ships are poo. Fortunately, probably everybody's combat ships are poo. But, I'll worry about mine first. I don't care. I love that it's called Eye of Hawking. So, I also added Hothram. I guess I need to add... Let's rifle off Breek and Hothram. So, Hothram will be Libby Snow. You are a solar system at the edge of my empire, and Sucky Senpai. Interesting names for solar systems. I can get behind it.
Construction venture.
Hey, Rasta, thanks for continuing your sub-gift from Pinpoint. Legend. Cheers. Let me know if anyone wants to hear the Stellaris soundtrack. Right now I have the Wendigo soundtrack on. Instead of Stellaris's. Stellaris's is more atmospheric electronica than what you're listening to now, which is like sort of horror themed for the Wendigos. I don't know how I feel like being a snake with a big butt. I'm definitely going to have to add some more territory, so I'm not just like a snake that ate Baby Got Back. Alright, let me check for new leaders. It's been a little while. Oh yeah, here's a maniacal leader. I would very much like to add him, so... Yeah, I'm Thick Snake.
A system survey has
So let's pause. I'm going to recruit this maniacal leader, and then let's see who's our researcher. So right now, I would say Saichi, you're going to get the axe, but don't worry, I'm going to be replacing you. So go to leaders. SAI-CHY, you're fired. But you are renamed. Okay. And I have a new tradition to adopt. So let's get... I'm probably going to want to get Overwhelming Force so that my ships fire faster, because... Or no, maybe I want them to build cheaper. I don't really know. I'm gonna do build cheaper, so I can roll them out for 90 alloys instead of 100. And I'm gonna basically pour all of my societal research or resources into shipbuilding. Oh, that's the wrong ship. I do know that I need to upgrade them though. So after this next one builds, I will retrofit my current fleet. Now luckily, these guys that I rivaled early on, and I think I can re-rival people, right? Let me see. Harm relations, yes. And then declare rivalry. So now I have 3 rivals. I chose not to rival Vran's state because they might be the strongest, and I don't know. I'm not scared, but I swear I'm not scared.
Construction venture completed.
So my ships, let's take a look at them. My corvettes are going to get coil guns. As you said, go kinetics. And then to power up the coil guns, the new coil guns, I'm going to have to add a reactor booster. So let's get These guys rolling off the line. Now, I don't have enough alloys to support that new fleet, so that's going to take a minute to obtain those kind of resources. Yeah, not scared, but not stupid either. Dragon, I would agree with that statement. So this anomaly, this is the first anomaly I've researched. This anomaly gives me societal research and engineering research for free, like a one-time thing. That's all it did. So let's go over to Colin over there and research that anomaly. It's called Tomb World. Okay, I guess it's going to have something to do with the fact that it's a undiscovered tomb world. This barren world's going to be a tomb world. Alloy is very much my bottleneck, for sure. For sure. What I should do is replace my research labs with an alloy foundry. But I can buy alloys. I can't really buy research. That was sort of my justification for going research over alloys. Whether I'm right or not, I have no idea. Good thing I have plenty of experience with tomb worlds. Yes, I do. I would love to colonize all those tomb worlds. That would be great. Because there's a lot of them.
Construction venture completed.
Now the question is, do I get Ijax or not? I don't think I am, even though there's alloys on the table.
The study has been completed.
Because there's other things on the table that are more important. So, genome mapping just got researched, which allows me to, my population to grow a little bit faster. Next up, let's get off-world trade companies to bolster our economy. And in engineering, we finished up, let's definitely get ceramo metal armor. It's better armors. That's going to help our ships tank when their shields deplete. So when you initiate combat, you initially fire and you're blowing up the enemy's shields. Once their shields are shredded, shields will regenerate, but over like a long period of time. So once your shields get depleted, you start going after the armor. Armor can be repaired. Once that is gone, you go after the hit points. Once the hit points are gone, your ship's blown up. Shields will automatically regenerate. You can design ships to have regenerating armor and hit points as well, but it's much, much slower. Shields are sort of the quick, brief, the quick regen, where you don't actually have to go to a shipyard to repair it. But those are the sort of types. Yeah, luckily for me, most of my neighbors are like microstates. I'm definitely going to balloon out a lot larger than they are, which is good, I think. I'll speed time up. Man, I am going to get rid of this and build an alloy foundry. I think you guys are right. The alloys being so deeply my bottleneck is painful. Now I have retrofitted about almost half of my fleet here. But that's why it doesn't look like my alloys are going up, because as soon as I get more alloys, it's being earmarked for retrofitting. However, my governor just got better. Got leveled up. Nice. Yeah, he's a pretty good governor. Thicken the snake. I'm trying. I'm just going to keep selling off my other resources to buy alloys to fill that unfillable void. But we're only 3 ships away from retrofit now. So we're getting there. And then another really important thing for me to do will be to research all of the anomalies that I have available to me. In fact, I'm going to stop. Holy Dire, you're going to double back and start doing that. So you're going to start doing the anomalies at Rasta and Hatback. And my survey ship Sky Collective, who is my best surveyor because they're meticulous, is going to do the rest of the surveys that are in my my starting territory. So the anomaly that we found at Colin, the Tomb World anomaly, was a primordial soup, which is going to allow me to get a little bit more societal research out of it. And then Savior, the scientist, will go up to Zigar. Star-crossed lovers. So what the hell is this? It seems that instead of performing his task and representing the Wendigo interests, our envoy, Winton, has fallen for the charms of a diplomat. In doing this, he has forfeited his position as our envoy. However, this loss of control... So, either I can ridicule them diplomatically, or I can have them owe me favors. I don't want their favors, so obviously I'm going to ridicule them diplomatically and make their diplomatic weight reduced. Yep. That's what I'm doing. Stupid xenophobe falling in love with a xeno. Can you believe it? I literally... No, I can't. Alright, so this alloy foundry is almost done. That's going to dramatically increase our alloy production per month when that's done. Because what it's doing here, what that building allows us to do, right now we have 2 metallurgists. Our 2 metallurgists are making 9 alloys per month. And now I have 4 metallurgists, we're getting 17 alloys per month. So you're going to see the alloys up here jump a bit at the end of this month to 19. Our armada is also fully done, fully ready to roll off, well, not fully ready to roll off the line, but has all been retrofitted. So I'm going to start adding more ships, but as you can see, the ship's cost is 103 alloy because they're higher tech ships. They have better components and therefore are more expensive. Which is fine. I mean, you know. It is what you expect. A new contact. Babaki Confederated Worlds. And they're down here. So we're slowly meeting people, but like, they're all food to me. It's just one big buffet. Alright, at Rasta we found silicon life forms that we can turn into minerals. That was one of the anomalies. And a hydrate from Hippie Chick. Oh, actually, Nutters, you told me to do that as well. I am going to slow down time a little bit and get myself some water and maybe something else. But here, let me give you over to Yoda while I'm slightly FK. Thank you for watching Stellaris Wendigos Episode 2, which streamed live on Twitch. Just like I said in the intro, if you'd like to catch a live stream of this, I stream impromptu throughout the week. So if you want to join one of my streams, either follow me on Twitch or go to Rhadamant.com to join the Discord channel, where I'll make announcements when this goes live. Thank you all for watching. If you have any feedback for me, let me know in the comments below. I'll catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Adios.